Run for your life. The nightmare has begun. It will find you in the hour when dream and reality merge. The last desperate moment of darkness.
All right, who is it?
Just before dawn. They were warned.
At least tell me where you're going, so that when you don't come back, I'll know how to fill out the report.
But they did not understand the warning.
What'd you see?
They came to the mountain for adventure and escape. What they found was a trial which only the strongest could survive. How could they know that beneath the awesome beauty of nature lay violence, danger, and death?
You seen all the blood?
How could they know the heat of their bodies was the magnet that would draw the terror to them?
No more devils. No more nothing out there. Just God's little creature.
You saw them kids?
I see them. Down my leg, I see your kid.
I had a good mind to just let them have their due.
Just before dawn, they will cry out. Just before dawn, the demon lives.
All I can tell you is it's wild, it's practically untouched, and you're gonna love it. It's really beautiful.
There is nothing to be afraid of.
They wouldn't have left us up here all night if there wasn't something wrong.
Your friends aren't really missing. They're not really dead. This is just some kind of joke.
What the hell was that?
That thing that's out there, whatever it is, can't be real. It's just your imagination.
I swear I'm not dreaming! I'm not dreaming!
Or maybe, just this once, you're dead wrong.
Once upon a time.
The legend is told in whispers, an unholy tale of an unknown force, alien to this world.
You don't know what you're dealing with, lady.
Without knowing, they have awakened a terrifying evil.
We want to get out of here!
Alone and unprotected, now comes the naked horror. The final terror.
With that, we are live. Finally, this is Slasher Stream, episode 11. I am Chris C., Black Glove Reviews. I'm joined always by my partner in crime here. That is Darren from Subjective Perspective Collective. How are we doing there, Darren?
Not too bad, not too bad. Been a while since we've done one of these, but yeah, going back to these, and we're in the perfect summertime as well, Nate, to watch these. I was kind of surprised with the one, but we'll come on to that in a bit. But Just Before Dawn has always been like a labor of love for me. So yeah, happy to come on to do these.
Absolutely, yes. Of course, we are talking about Just Before Dawn, 1981. Also a film that came out in 1981, The Final Terror, but that was scrapped until 1983. Both of these are staples in the slasher genre from that time. We're talking about the early 80s, just the start of the boom. You had Madman, you had The Burning, of course, you had Friday the 13th. You got these films that snuck in there. Great directors, all-star cast people here. Just very, very, very good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Both casts were actually, a lot of them were unknown at the time. But we obviously know a couple of them, certainly in one of the films, went on to like major things. Well, three of them actually in the Final Terror.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say, like this has really been a long time coming for me because we're starting to do the kind of forest and backwards type slashes as well. And yeah, and I can see, like, obviously you're in a different time zone than me, so you've got a nice bright sunny day there. I can see in the background.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it works perfectly. These are backwoods slashers in that genre. This is part of our Slash-tastic summer. And yeah, we're going to talk about these in a second. First off, I want to give a big shout out. It's his birthday today. We're talking about the great Mario Bava. Darren, talk about this great director for a second, if you could, for me, please.
Absolutely, yeah. So Bava was, when I first started getting into Italian horror, and I think I started with like Argento, Martino. Bava was always up there. I know Dirk is his favorite director. I'm not quite there with that, but he's definitely top 5 or 6.
Me as well.
Knew Too Much is one of my favorite Gialli films ever, I think.
Of course, he worked under Riccardo Freda. It's that one vampire film that Freda did. Bava was a huge part of that. He's the one that took over. I believe it's called. And took over from that too. Freda was a great director as well, but Mario Bava, my all-time favorite Gialli, that is Blood and Black Lace. That changed the genre forever. He changed genre film. Italians, he's up there with one of the greatest Italian directors ever, in my opinion. His influence, of course, in the genre of Gialli is, of course, stretched out through, like you say, through the Argentos, the Fulcis, the Martinos, there's a lot, like you say. So, yeah, happy late birthday to him, too. Great director. And, his son's very good, too.
He started, like you say, he started the giallo genre pretty much. There was a couple of films like in the 50s, but for me, like a great starting point. And I think the first film I ever seen from Bava was The Girl Who Knew Too Much. That is by far my favorite. And Blood and Black Lace is not far behind. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to like pick one of his films that's not a banger.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is one I don't like. Hatchet for the Honeymoon, but I need to never watch. But all his other stuff, like Five Dolls for an August Moon, is such a great. You got that set in, yeah, Chris? Because I know. You
got to wait for tomorrow about that one, but I'll talk to you about that one after the stream.
Okay.
But like I say, an all-time direct to me, like I say, Blood and Black Lace is a template for what a giallo is. It's the most highly rewatchable gialli I've ever watched. I've watched it at least 5 or 6 times. You just see something new with that. It's a beautiful film. Of course, he changed the genre on its head again when we got a film called A Bay of Blood, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve. He's like, let's see here, with a practical effects person that would go on to do a lot of other things as well. That's something for another stream. But yeah, happy birthday, definitely, to the master. So, like I say, these two are great backwoods slashers at the peak, at the start of the slasher genre. This is where these were being produced. These directors saw these films being produced and they saw the numbers. These were blockbusters in the theaters. People flocked to these. And we're talking about first this film right here from the great Jeff Lieberman, who did a film called Blue Sunshine, which I've not seen, but we're talking about Just Before Dawn, this one.
That image on that cover, I was trying for a long time to get a poster of that, and I couldn't get a poster at a reasonable price.
All yellow, yeah.
There's the old Shriek show. This was rare at one point. 2-disc, but I've got the 88 films blue as well.
Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome did release it, but it's like way out of print now. But there's talks that our good old people, Mr. Don May at Synapse, they have negatives for it and stuff like that too. So who knows? We may get that one. It'll definitely be worth owning. And then the second one we're going to be talking about is The Final Terror. I was introduced to this film from Brian from Brian Goes Blue on one of Pop's streams and stuff like that. And this film came up. And he goes, yeah, Daryl Hannah, Rachel Ward from a film we will eventually discuss called Night School, of course, the Thornbird. She was also in another film called Fortress, I believe, where she plays a teacher.
That is an excellent film, by the way.
Yeah, Mike from Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays mentioned that film as well. So we're talking about these two ones here, which are bangers, and we'll give at the end of this, we'll give you our scores on these things, and they're pretty equal to me, but I may like one a little bit more than the other, but we'll discuss that later. First off, we will talk about Just Before Dawn, 1981, directed by Jeff Lieberman, who also did, like I say, Blue Sunshine, which is a very Cronenberg-like film. So definitely check that one out if you haven't. Synapse has a great release of that. Writer was Mark Arowitz, I believe. That's how you say it. Stars Deborah Benson as Constance. The great Deborah Benson, probably one of the best final girls I've ever seen in a film.
Absolutely.
George Kennedy, of course, is Roy. I first saw George Kennedy in a film called The Delta Force. He plays a priest. That's one of my favorite all-time Chuck Norris films. It's very true to what's going on nowadays. Definitely check out that action film if you have not. Of course, we have Mike Kellen as Ty. We have Chris Lemmon as Jonathan. Chris Lemmon, the same Chris Lemmon which was from Sleepaway Camp. I had a hard time noticing him, but yeah, that's the same dude.
No, you're on about Mike Kellen, I think.
Oh, Mike Kellen. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, he's one of
never
the
mind. Excuse me.
counselors.
Yeah, Mike Kellen is Ty. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, that's why I got you here. Chris Lemmon as Jonathan. Greg Hendry as Warren. Jamie Rose as Megan. And this was filmed in Silver State Park, Oregon, so close to me in California. So.
Okay, that's How far would you say miles wise?
Probably about 800.
Oh shit, it's still a
yeah.
way.
So my parents live up in Trinity County. You follow the signs to Portland, so you kind of go past there, and it's a good 300 miles to get there, and then you just add on to that. So yeah, but beautiful territory.
Man, that's like saying like the size of the UK alone.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Los Angeles. Jeff Lieberman, man, he made a little film called Squirm, and that was the first I'd ever seen of him, and it played on UK TV, and it's pretty decent. It's like, all creepy crawlies and all that type of film. This one kind of eluded me for a while. I never got to see this back in the day on VHS. The first time I saw this was literally, I have got the old UK DVD as well, but it's boxed up. But on DVD was the first time I saw this, and it literally blows me away every time I see it. I think it's one of the highly underrated ones.
I'll say this: you don't get films like Mother's Day without this film. So
right, and Lieberman didn't even class this as a slasher, and
he did not. He highly referenced. The one with Burt Reynolds in it. That film, he mentioned that film, Deliverance. Yeah. He highly reps Deliverance. He goes, "Yeah, that's what I was looking for with films like this." And
there's one called Rituals as well. But if you go up to him and in a convention, say, and talk to him about Just Before Dawn as a slasher, he will put you right, Mike. He said, "There's no way that's slasher. I tried to make an art film in the style of Deliverance."
It's because they're very unique, where these don't have high body counts, and which makes it more gritty, in my opinion. And the score is great for this film as well. So,
well, yeah, and there's two films you could kind of put this in with: is Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes. Southern Comfort, that was made later by
absolutely,
Powers Booth, and
there's a scene in this where, I mean, with the killer, I'm gonna call him early on as we go through the film. I'll probably call him Demon, the demon.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where this killer, this demon, grabs Connie, and it's almost like the way Leatherface would do it. It's pretty much
bear hugs her. Bear hugs her and stuff like that. Yeah, very big dude. Of course, you get him for these roles and stuff like that. It works pretty good. And probably one of the best ending deaths you'll ever see in a film. The most unique way I've ever seen a killer get killed, definitely.
You've got the stuff with the little girl, and we will go through the film somewhat. And that reminds me a lot of The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you what cut you've seen of this. Did you see the 90-minute version or the 1 hour 42? There is actually 3. There's a composite
There's
cut
one
as
on
well.
there's one on Look Movie. That's the first one I watched. There's one on YouTube where they cut out a minute of it's just the scene where
Okay.
they're all in the waterfall, but that's pretty much it. A very cool weapon here. We'll talk about that in future streams too, or on a podcast, which we will mention at the end of this. Unique weapons to use. It's basically a saw blade. So the other
Right.
side is a saw type thing. You see that a couple times in here. And
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the first films that actually did a certain twist. When you
Yes.
know, you know.
Yeah, if
I
you
mean,
don't know,
I'm
you
sure
know.
I'm sure we're gonna go through it. You gonna put spoilers out there, Chris, or do you mind if we talk all the way through?
We can talk all the way through if you want to about these. I just highly suggest people, if you haven't seen these, watch them. These are great double features to me. They are highly rewatchable, in my opinion. They just click. Of course, we're fans of this genre, but definitely.
And there is like a major like twist, which I wouldn't want to spoil for people. So yeah,
we won't kind of do that. We'll kind of know what's kind of going on, but we'll leave it up to y'all's imagination if you haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this was based on a story by Joseph Middleton.
Yeah.
And you've got the opening, which I love as well. So we're in the rural mountains of Oregon, and we hear this creepy whistle which plays throughout the whole film, and it is so fucking eerie and creepy.
It's very good for backwoods horror like this, mountain folk, as you call them.
Well, and those opening credits as well, because we see the sun go down as you hear all these kind of sounds of the forest, and it just sets up the film really well. To start off with, you've got kind of 2 drunken guys. I don't know if they're kind of poachers or they I'm not sure who they are or what they're doing, but you've got one played by Mike Kellin, which Chris said, and he's one of the camp counselors in the Sleepaway Camp sequels. And he's with I think it's his nephew Rachel, and they come across this old abandoned church. Man, this is a great way to start, So Ty, that's the Mike Kellin character. He sees this strange looking man in the hole in the roof looking down.
In the hole of this church. He's drunk and stuff like that as well. They have a deer that they got outside. There's a funny scene we'll get to.
It is such an iconic kind of image of this. And we'll call him Demon because early on, until we get to a certain point where they're not called that anymore, but this Mike Kellin character, Ty, he just calls him a demon, and it's quite fitting actually for the film. Their truck outside, like you say, is pushed down this slope and it catches fire. But
the deer falls off that they have on the hood.
Yeah.
It bumps and then you see it come off, which I think is interesting. And then, basically it catches on fire and bursts into flames.
Exactly. You've got the opening kill there where Rachel, and he's pretty much the killer, or the demon castrates him. You've got the you see go right through.
That was deep, yeah.
It really is. But what's ironic and kind of cool about this is every time this demon kills, you hear this strange kind of giggling, and it's really puts you on edge,
Kind of like Slaughterhouse a little bit.
It is.
That dude sounds like a pig and stuff like that, and he did that on purpose. So you have this too,
Yeah, you can lumber all these films together, like you said.
Yeah, because they give you no bones what the killer looks like, because Ty turns around and sees him putting on his nephew's vest and his hat too, I think. And like that. Then he sees him and he goes after him. It's because he has they do the all black kind of circles underneath his eyes that are kind of dripping a little bit, kind of almost like a goth type look to that. I always like that.
Oh yeah, so you've got that Ty there, and he goes running off into the woods, and then we kind of changed a little bit to you see a bunch. I call them kids. They're like teens, So you see a bunch of kids there, and they're traveling up through the woods. You've got Blondie playing on the camper van, which I like.
Heart of Glass.
How the hell did they get the rights for that?
Deborah Harry.
Yeah.
A lot of these films, I think that there's a scene too where they're all dancing around. That's another song as well, but they don't mention that one. But yeah, it happened. This is the early 80s as well. Like I say, They did this in like 1980. Basically, production started for this, so it's like, yeah, can you reuse it? I'm sure nobody really cared. I mean, it doesn't seem that way. So at the time,
or they got it for like dirt cheap and what
Yeah.
have you. There's a clue early on, because when they're driving up through the woods and they see these townsfolk or these backwoods.
yeah, they see the kids, the dude with the glasses and the
And
camera.
there's a lot of twins. And, and I know
Yeah, he's
we're
like
probably
going
gonna-
white. And there's a lot of twins here, he says. And
A
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
inbred people,
Yeah,
a lot of twins.
Yeah.
They come across and they think they hit this animal. And I was
Right.
gonna
You
ask
see the
about
deer.
that.
You see the deer basically almost thrown in front of it. You see it hit the trailer.
I was going
motorhome.
to say, and when I first watched this, and it was probably on a like degraded copy, maybe of the DVD or what have you, I automatically thought maybe the killer was coming out and they hit the killer, but no, it is a deal when you watch it back.
Basically, yeah, he basically took the deer and threw it in front of that. And then all of a sudden he goes out there like real quick to see what happened, and the deer disappeared.
Yeah, he kind of like tells Connie, his girlfriend, that
Yeah.
it's fine, it's all good. We first see then Roy McLean, the forest ranger, played by George Kennedy, and he lives out in the woods. He lives out
This
in
horse.
the country. Yeah, he's such a great actor. He just turns up in everything.
He's a very good actor. Yeah, he did westerns back in the day and stuff like that too. But a very good. I don't want to call him a method actor, but a very good. Very good actor.
I think he was in Creepshow 2 as well, and I think like a year later than this. But yeah, he kind of warns them. The one guy with these teens, he's inherited this plot of land up in the woods, up in the towards the mountain, and they're going literally to try and check this out and see, what it's all about. They're going for a camping trip, obviously. They got all their tents and all that stuff. But yeah, they're constantly being told and warned, just don't go up there. You don't know what you're getting into. And all that.
Exactly.
Typical slasher fare, but I love it, man. I absolutely love it. So you've got the group consists of Warren, his girlfriend Connie, Jonathan, his girlfriend Megan, and Daniel, who I believe is Jonathan's brother. So you've got the main kind of 5 cast. And one of the group then they see something in the woods, and we're not sure. And it's kind of got a Madman type vibe in it. Because where you see Madman Maz in the woods, and he's up in the trees, and it's kind of got that vibe going for it.
Yeah, they all go out there to find out. They're like, you hear it, something like that too. So there's a slow burn to this, which I like a lot about films like this.
Yeah, it is. I will say it is a slow burn. If you're expecting because it is like Friday the 13th, but don't expect it to be a kill every 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah, we get spoiled by films like this, so you see stuff like this, and it takes a little bit, but you learn to appreciate it definitely.
But it's nice to have something that builds up, and we got a lot of character development as well. But yeah, so they look like they've seen something in the woods. They investigate and they find out it's a drunken Ty, the man from earlier. And then he starts going on to this really creepy scene where he's telling them about the fucking demons and all in the woods. It is great, man. I mean, I'm glad we were doing this because, like I said, this really is one of my favorite films. And we'll come into ratings and all that, I'm sure. But,
yeah, of course.
But they tell him then, don't they? They say to him, we can't take you, literally, because he's begging them. He says, look,
it's like, please, yeah.
And they're saying, well, look, we're going in a different direction.
Definitely in the wrong direction. Yeah, they're going in the wrong direction.
Like wrong turn as well.
Wrong turn.
So they give him some food and they just put him on the trail and tell him to go back.
Yeah, they go, it's like going, he may die, but,
it is,
just give him the food, just tosses a sandwich out for him. That's when you see him hop on the back of the trailer.
Man.
Yeah.
That is such a great scene, isn't it?
Yeah, because he kind of smirks a bit. He's like,
yeah. You got the camper van and this creepy demons looking in at the camper van.
Yeah, because she changes the rear view mirror so she can put on her lipstick. That comes into play later. That's another red herring. It just so he adjusts that so you don't even see it. yeah, you don't even see him like literally climb up on the thing. So it's like, yeah, cool. You know, it just works.
That's such a creepy way to do it as well. Where you've
Yeah.
got this demon on top of like the camper van.
A big dude.
Like,
a big dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Agile.
Oh, for sure. So they go and set up camp, you know. I think Jonathan and Warren, they got to go back and they got to pick up more stuff from, you know, supplies and that from the camper van. And then you just get, you know, your kind of set up there where they're setting up all the tents. But what happens is you keep hearing this strange whistling sound.
Yeah.
Just, like I mentioned earlier, just so creepy. And someone seems to be watching from the trees as well.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, like Madman Mars come later. So I always wondered whether, you know, like Gary Sales had seen this film and then, you know, obviously we all know The Burning is kind of done around about the same time.
The opening to this film is a lot like The Burning to me. It kind of shows that sunset going over, you know, the forest and stuff like that too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you picked the perfect two as well, because this is very similar to The Final Terror.
Yeah.
Which we will come into. But when they feel like they're seeing someone in the trees, it turns out to be a prank. You know, the two guys, they get back from the camper van and they kind of just pulled a prank trying to scare everyone. Yeah, it was. I mean, another thing I will say about this film. So you've got the waterfall, and the location to this film is absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
absolutely stunning. I don't think there's been a 4K of this, Chris, is there?
No, there's not. I know it was Vinegar Syndrome was really good for their transfers. I believe it was them that had like a 2K transfer or something like that. Look Movie has a good version of this. It looks really good. It just kind of pauses at times and stuff like that too. There is a version that was uploaded. Yeah. There was a version that was uploaded to YouTube, but that's 480p for certain reasons. I'm sure. I know this film has been talked about, you know, and stuff like that too, that maybe a lot of the stuff is lost. It could be a lot of legal BS and stuff like that as well.
I think there's some kind of legal rights as well, because this kind of had, is like the 88 films version I've got kind of went out of print pretty early on.
Yeah.
This one was like gold dust at one time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the issue is with the rights.
It'll happen. Like I say, Synapse, I believe, does have it. You know, I'll always rep Synapse, but I'm not going to lie out of my ass here and say that they have it and they're going to release it. You know, I'll leave that up to Don May and Felcher. They know what they're doing over there. So
yeah. I think Lieberman as well is kind of, every time I see interviews with Jeff Lieberman, he is straight to the point. He doesn't hold back, and he's like, I think he may be sitting on the title for a 4K. I'm not sure, but if they do and they find the right,
they released Blue Sunshine. Synapse released Blue Sunshine. That's his film, so it's like, you know, Peace Offering there a little bit like that. And that could be a release.
This would look perfect, I think, in high def.
This will look great in 2K transfer, even a 4K transfer if they can do it. If they can split, and the film already looks good for the, you know, what I've watched and stuff like that. It's very good.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. You know, the Blu-ray is a pretty good way to go. But like I say, the waterfall, the location is fantastic. They're all out now, and you know they kind of hear this little girl singing in the background, or you know, and they hear the echoes of her singing.
Got to know too. It's like when they talk to the ranger, like say he's a land baron and he's going up there. You know, he basically says, I forget. He's like, "Where are y'all heading?" And he says the name of a lake or something like that too.
Is basically Silver Creek or something.
Yeah, like Silver Creek and stuff like that, which he was BS and Y. Speaking of Brian, I see him in here. What's going on, Brian? It's great to see you. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, what's up, man? I remember doing a stream with Brian. I think we was talking about underrated slashers, and this one come up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff.
But yeah, so they hear this girl, and the girl is like just for me, it's completely ripped off from The Hills Have Eyes, but it's still. Do you know what I mean? Take nothing away from the film, it still works. They actually do quite a different spin than The Hills Have Eyes with this character as well. With the
because they go behind the waterfall at first, which is a great shot. There's great shots in this film, man. I tell you.
Oh man, this like everyone sees this as like kind of cheesy backward slasher and all that. No, this director knew.
The thing is with films like this that are shot at night. A lot of stuff is done during basically dawn. You can tell when she's running some certain scene. scenes where they're running, it's a little bit lighter because of the lighting and stuff like that
Yeah,
at the
they
time.
do.
So I get that. So I understand.
Yeah, they do like day for night shots.
Yeah.
Probably. But they come across this rope bridge over the waterfall, and they're all trying to get over it. I think Daniel almost falls in, and at one point he's kind of unsteady on the rope.
Well, they go down the hill because they're wondering how to get there, and he's the first one to go down. The brother is, and then she's like, "Okay, whatever," and just tumbles down and all this other stuff too.
Oh man, that's a goofy scene, isn't it, with that Jonathan? Yeah. He just throws himself off this like bank or cliff or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Down.
Chris Lemmon, I've seen him in other stuff before. He looks very familiar. I just can't pinpoint it, but he has that look to him.
So he's Jack Lemmon's grandson, I believe.
I knew it. I had a feeling. I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's related to Jack Lemmon. And a lot of these were unknowns, Connie, I think she's one of the best final girls. I think you mentioned it earlier. She goes all throughout the film, very feminine, do you know what I mean? And then she kind of kicks ass right at the end.
Yes.
You've got the skinny dipping scene. Jonathan and Megan, they go skinny dipping. You got the weird kind of little girl there, and she's watching on.
He does that scene too, where he comes up from the water. There's a quick cut there. There's a quick cut there. Like as soon as he comes up, and then there's a quick cut there where he just kind of smiles and stuff like that too. So that's what I kind of like about these things, where you kind of pick when you like them, love them so much, and you can kind of pay attention. You're like, oh, I see what you did there. So you're like, cut. Okay, now we're going to start up again and stuff like that too. So yeah, it's pretty good. Scares her. That's the first time you see that in a slasher with the fake whatever going through the water, thinking that, and then they come up and surprise you and shit.
That's what this film's all about for me. You get the creepy imagery, and you see in the backdrop a lot of times of this demon or this killer. I don't even know how to describe him yet, but I probably will later on. And he's in the background, he's watching, and like you say, he's even
he gets in the water.
Yeah, which is kind of eerie, like scene. He comes up
in a violent nature. I think they got that scene from that, where he's on the other side of the creek of the lake, and he goes in and stuff like that too. That's more of a Jason Voorhees thing, but I think you kind of see that, where you kind of see the demon character like slowly get into the water and stuff like that, and she just gets terrified, like something's there.
Oh yeah, and this killer, this weirdo, starts grabbing Megan under the water, and it's kind of very unsettling.
Yeah.
Roy, who, like the forest ranger I mentioned, he sees Ty, the drunk guy, again. Ty tells him the demon's out there and all this, and
he describes the demon. It's like, describe the demon for me, like what he looks like, big, like massive, and stuff like that. He killed my nephew and all this other stuff too.
Yeah. So, you've got the forest ranger, then he's hell bent on kind of finding these teens then to let them know what's been going on.
Yeah.
And then you've got the party, the campfire party scene you mentioned, where they're all dancing. And then someone shoots their ghetto blaster they're using to show them, play the music on. And it warns out, so it's literally there's this strange family of this little girl living in the woods.
Yeah, you see the girl, she's watching the two kind of make love in the lake there and stuff like that too. Then she backs away because she knows the demon's there. And we'll get to that in a minute and stuff like that. Yeah. When they introduce they're all dancing to the song and stuff like that, having a good time. Then all of a sudden that shot comes out of nowhere. The guy who plays the father, I forget his name. I've seen him in other stuff as well. But
I didn't write down all the cast.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a well-known character actor, I think.
Yeah.
And then you've got the scene as well that you mentioned earlier with the makeup. She initially thinks that a raccoon has pinched her makeup. I think Connie. And then
because the father says you need to leave and stuff like that. You need to leave, almost like this place has a death curse and stuff like that too. It's like you're not supposed to be here.
And this family are really weird. Like they're just living out in the woods. He's got
in a nice little cabin and stuff like that too.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything you would expect it to be. But yeah, the girl's name actually, the little girl, her name is Mary Cat.
Yeah, Mary Cat.
And yeah, she kind of steals the makeup from the tent at one point. She's putting it all over her face and all that. But she kisses the one guy, doesn't she, and runs off. So
Yeah.
I think it's Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan. Well, the thing is, yeah, because his girlfriend asks, "What's up, Drew? It's good to see you in here." She asks him, "Yeah, can you find my makeup and stuff like that too, and stuff like that?" Sure, I'll go and stuff like that. That's where he sees her, and it's a little game of cat and mouse there a little bit.
It is, yeah. So he sees the girl, and I think doesn't he try to show her the rope bridge or what have you, or that?
He does and stuff like that. It becomes like a game and stuff like that because he goes underneath the log and stuff like that. Then he looks and he sees that because she kisses him, and so it's really
you got the iconic shot then of the rope bridge being cut, and Jonathan, he falls into the water and he starts, because he's got a proper whistle, and he starts whistling for help.
Yeah.
You got a great scene there when he's climbing the rock cliff, and then at the top, obviously got.
Well, that's the thing. It's like he sees her and he goes, "Oh, you're afraid to go across this," because they do go across that rock bridge, or that basically rope bridge, and dude with the glasses, of course, he's the one that basically almost lands on his nuts on the rope and stuff like that. Yeah. They did that pretty good to where it just kind of turns like a little bit, and then
it does. Yeah, I can imagine. Filming this would have been a lot of problems, with the location, and you've got the camera equipment, and you're filming waterfalls,
the
and
rocks,
and shit. Yeah, absolutely. And
that's when he gets to the other side and he sees the demon just hulking right in front of him and stuff like that. That's where he smacks his hand hard.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, did this give you vibes of I'm trying to think now, Don't Go in the Woods? Because I know you've seen that.
It did. I love Don't Go in the Woods. That film's a hoot. This one's better than that, though. But yeah.
Oh yeah, without the shadow of doubt, it just got a similar vibe. Daniel goes looking around then, and he finds the old church. He sees Megan in there. I think he mislays his sunglasses or whatever in there as well.
That's what he does. Goes with her, finds the church, and she's all posing for him in this graveyard that's back there, and all this other stuff too. Well, first they go into the church, and then they do everything like that. He goes, "Oh, my glasses! I don't know where they're at." That's where he thinks he sees his buddy, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's playing another trick on us and stuff like that." That was kind of funny, where he's like, is. That's a great sequence there, because he, without his glasses, like me, I can't see shit.
I'm saying
I can't see shit.
Yeah. And did you realize that church is actually was done for the film? It's not even a real church, but it looks amazing. It looks exactly like this old abandoned creepy church out in the woods.
I guess if you really pay attention, you see a sound mic for like a brief second there, and then it goes away.
Okay.
So
yeah, you're gonna get that
you're gonna get that great stuff.
You got the great scene there with Warren, and he catches this fish with Connie, and then fucking Jonathan's body washes up next to them, and
right next to him. Yeah,
I mean, he tries.
Well, that's the thing where they're all the other two back at the church. They're all hugging, and then he gets closer and closer and closer, and just basically just whack. And that's a great scene where you don't see him, where he takes the blade out and stuff like that. I like it when they don't show that. I really like it when they don't do that,
because they decide to kiss, don't they? To wind up.
The wind up who they think is there.
But yeah, like you say, you get some machete to the stomach. Megan's chased then by the demon, and then we got the fucking twist, which I don't know whether you want to go with that, but
you do get the twist, because there is, she's in the church. She sees the cousin, Ty's cousin is there and stuff like that. That takes a minute. I always can kind of scream. I think they did that for a reason. If this was in the theater, I'm sure people were getting up off the seats in the theater going, "He's right there. You don't see the dead body there in the pew. You just don't see it. It's like, come on now. But it's a good, I'll say this, it's a good last house on the left type of a sequence. We'll just kind of leave it at that, where he chases her towards a window and you don't see what happens to her. You don't know what happens to her. You just hear her screams. That's it.
Right. That's what I like about this. It's just, it's not just your typical, even though there's like gore and there's death, there's death scene, machete kills and what have you. It's something like this has always been something more than just a fucking slasher film to me. It works well as a slasher film. Don't get me wrong.
It's a fight for survival for the most part. That's what I like about films like this.
It's just got something a little bit more than a slasher. It's got that deliverance, like you say, kind of angle to it. So you've got Connie then and Warren, and they come upon the family's house then in the woods. And they want to know why the old man said to them earlier about literally chasing the devil, and they kind of want to go back and ask him more about about that. Like you say, Daniel and Megan, then they realize they haven't made it back to camp, and Warren needs to get his keys, so he's got to literally go back to Jonathan's
He literally has to go back for the keys.
Yeah.
Gets a lantern and all this other stuff too.
And stupidly, in a slasher film, he leaves his girlfriend Connie on her own, which I mean, I guess.
Rule number one.
Yeah, kind of an easy mistake to make, I guess. But Jonathan's body then is posed in it by the killer with Daniel's glasses on.
Yes.
Which is such a cool scene as well. So you've got Roy asks a strange family then if they have seen the 5 campers. And the young girl blurts out, yes, she has, but the father goes, no, the old man. But yeah, you've got the demon, we can say demons at this point, I guess. And people might be able to work it out. But we realize that they are the inbred brothers from this family, so the little girl's their sister, and the old man is their father.
They do mention a comment and stuff like that is like, where's your sister at? And she goes, that was my mother. And
that's right. Yeah. And she seems, out of all of the family, the girl Mary Cat seems to be the most approachable and nice one out of them all. Yeah. She takes Roy back to the group's camp. She takes a forest ranger back to show him where they camp. And then, we're coming up towards some creepy, some great stuff towards the end.
That's where he goes sees the parents, and he asks them, "Have you seen these kids?" and stuff like that. They're like, "No," and stuff like that. He leaves. The daughter's back in there. You hear her beating her up and stuff like that. Says, "No, you basically keep it in the family. You keep this in the family, dude. You don't go out and do anything else. You keep this in the family." It's like, they're your brothers. She's like, "I don't care." You know what I mean? I just don't care. So, that's where she chases after Roy.
That's right. Yeah. You've got Connie then. She hears the whistle. And these 2 demon brothers, like twin brothers, they creep up on her. And again, she makes a really bad mistake of climbing a tree to get rid.
Yeah, that takes forever too, because he keeps on hitting that sucker. So it's like you're up there for a while.
Wow.
So,
it's not the brightest thing to do. When you see all these slashers and they end up going upstairs, you've got the final girls and they end up going upstairs rather than just fucking leave the place and run. But we wouldn't get the films we get without that. But then like you say, you've got the creepy shot then of the brothers cutting down the tree. And fuck, man, got a great shot of the tree falling. When
the dude is looking for his friend there and stuff like that, there's a scene where he has the sunglasses on, and he's behind that tree. You see her like thunder, lightning, something like that, and you see that. That's a great shot. He can't see it. Yeah. He can't see it, and I totally get that. Where he's kind of like this, and then you see that goes back to classic horror films. It's so good. Yeah. It's like literally, then he goes back and then there's a light. The lighting is very good in this film to where it kind of shines to that spot like that and goes, oh God, it's like, talk about traumatizing, dude. You're like, you see this in the theater for like the first time during that decade. You're like, oh shit.
Oh man, the cinematography, like I mentioned earlier as well, the way this film is actually shot. Some of the scenes are almost like a painting, But yeah, so the brother then, so he's cutting down the tree, but then he gets shot through the head then by the ranger. like right between the fucking eyes. It is, it's really creepy. Like the way
Yeah, it looks like
film
he's getting ready. Yeah, because she falls down. That's a good shot. I don't know if that was actually her that was still on that tree, if they got somebody else, because you see her shaking her head a bit and stuff like that. And you see her just go all the way, boom, like that.
I
They probably
would
had a soft
imagine,
surface.
it's kind of.
And then, like you say, it goes on top of her. Then you hear the boom like that. Then you see the hole in his head, and you just go, no, whack, like that, right on top of her, too. He made sure to go to the side there. He's like, oh, no problem.
Exactly. What I like about this as well, and you mentioned like Connie's one of the best final girls, but then we see a scene with her, then she starts putting on the eyeliner and she kind of gets a bit weird herself, like she's toughening up a little bit.
Yeah, because the ranger tells him, y'all better go and stuff like that. He goes, but they're alive, and all that stuff too. And he's like, because he says, I have to go back, we have to go back and get them and stuff like that. And like, I have to call the authorities, they'll come back up and bring him. And, basically you kind of see he's kind of like broken a bit because he can't believe it. He's like going, they can't be dead. They gotta be
right.
alive.
Yeah,
so.
because they don't know what's going on at this point.
Yeah.
The tent collapses. The other brother then, or the other demon or what have you, then stabs Warren.
He swings the blade just Connie. Right on the side. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, but he grabs Connie, like I mentioned earlier,
like Leatherface
from the back, like leather.
Yeah,
it's exactly.
And picks her up like that. Hand it to her. She's a badass.
Oh man,
she
taking completely like. At first, you think during the first half of the film, she's like decent kind of actress, not too much to do. But she.
I want to say she's the typical final girl because she seems to be the smart one in the group.
Oh yeah,
not taking anything off her friend, but she seems to be that one that's tentative with him and the rest of them and stuff like that too, right? You kind of have that. She bleeds from the mouth too, in that right. You see that. I'm like, ooh, yeah. Hardcore stuff there.
Yeah, but well, I'll let you if you want to describe the.
No, go ahead, Darren. Yeah, go ahead,
sure?
Darren. Just certain scenes I like getting into with that. It's just when it's good, it's really good and stuff like that. And that's the stuff I like about these slashers when they kind of stick with you like that. It makes you think about it. And I'm like going, yeah.
Yeah. So we got probably one of the best demises of a slasher killer in any film, where Connie literally punches the killer through the mouth. And kind of like just chokes him, I guess.
His mouth basically like that. Just goes right in there and looks like it's in there because there's a great shot of her. It's almost pseudo-sexual. She's on top of him, boy. She's like right there. Right. She's like, like that. He's like, like that. And he's trying to hit her.
There's a longer, like, if you watch the compositive cut, which I don't think has been released, it may be on Code Red, actually, I'm not sure. But that scene is a lot longer where you see the actual... you can see her fist going in and it stays there for quite a while.
It did with that scene they show it and stuff like that. She pulls that sucker out and it's all red and bloody. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. It is longer though. I would believe it or not. It is longer in one of the versions. The girl Mary Cat then she appears and runs away. You got the Warren guy and he starts crying and literally that's pretty much how the film ends.
That's it. They pan out. They pan out with the smoke from the fire. And all this other stuff too. Yeah, and they do go to the sunset and the credit rolls. Yeah.
So where you see what they did with the beginning, with the sun going down, and then you got the sunset.
Sun going up, just before dawn. Hint, hint. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I mean this one very high for me. I'm just looking at my notes now to see if there's any stuff I want to bring up. But yeah, this was originally going to be set in Tennessee.
Yes.
And it was going to feature, that's right. So the two killer demon brothers were going to have some kind of like religion based. It was going to be to do with their character.
Yeah, very religious like type stuff. That's what he was kind of going for. Kind of like what the Deliverance was. He wanted to do very much like that. And that's what directors kind of want to do at the time of what kind of works and sells. It's like tell you something without telling you it because these directors are very smart. They know we're not stupid. So, they want us to, just
I mean,
find
this
out for ourselves.
Like $1 million as well, budget, which is, they get a lot out of that, I think.
Oh, God, yeah. With these films, you do.
Yeah, I mean, the film was not a commercial success and received mixed reviews, with many highlighting It's elegant cinematography, which is definitely a massive plus. Lieberman said he'd never seen TCM 74 and The Hills Have Eyes 77 at this point. Again,
that could have been that could have been the actors doing that, because
I'm calling bullshit on that. Really,
that the actor that played the demon probably would see that, because he's like, I'm a big dude, and watching the actor that played him be like going, I can do that, and
yeah. This was called in France. It was called Surveillance. Was the title. Again, you got Lieberman. Like he never intended to make a slasher film. Instead, he was aiming to craft a survival thriller, which it
kind of works as that. Yeah,
it works as both, I guess.
Yeah.
The film's original screenplay was titled The Tennessee Mountain Murders. And later changed.
That
to the
sounds
Last
pretty
Ritual.
good, actually. That sounds like that would actually work.
And later that was changed to The Last Ritual as well, which is another good title, I think.
Yeah.
Is it better than Just Before Dawn? No, I don't think so.
No.
I think they went with the right kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just looking there. Linda Blair was attached to the film before, in pre-production
Right, as an
as well.
actress to probably maybe play that part.
She would have probably played the Connie role, I presume.
Yeah.
Or the other. Yeah, probably the Connie, because she would have done she would have been one of the main ones.
She was in that other one, that gothic slasher, so it kind of made up for that. So Hell Night. So.
Oh, Hell Night. Same year as well.
Same year.
Maybe that's why they couldn't get her for this.
Yeah.
But Hell Night, people, if you want to see a fucking good slasher film, definitely check out Hell Night.
That's a little bit off topic. Just imagine if you switch her with Jamie Lee Curtis, with The Exorcist, with Hell Night. Hell, even with Savage Streets. I dare you to try to do that, of what that situation would be.
Yeah, I mean, Hell Night, again, is set in like a Gothic mansion.
Yep.
Very
Halloween.
similar. Yeah, very similar type killers to what we got,
definitely.
Here in a way, but
later on.
While the film was in pre-production, Paramount released Friday the 13th, and obviously that was a big thing at the time. So Lieberman, they asked Jeff Lieberman then to add some gory killings, because I think some of the kills weren't even going to originally be in here. So you can.
That's why those films are so influential. Like it's a template for Friday the 13th and stuff before that, like Halloween is just a template for that. You know what I mean? Black Christmas, stuff like that. You get this stuff here.
Yeah, but I don't want to bore everyone with facts.
There's we could go on for days with that. Trust me.
Ratings, Chris. What would you say?
This gets a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It was a 7. After watching this gets a solid 8 out of 10. It's highly rewatchable. For the score alone, I really like it. Just everything about it. It has a synth to it. You know what I mean? It may be just me, because I'm a huge fan of this genre, as are you. It just hits differently. So,
for me, I'm pretty much on the same ballpark, maybe a little higher. I think it's
nice.
I don't want to oversell it to people though, because I know it is kind of a slow burn. It's an 8.5, stroke 9, maybe.
Oh, I can see that.
I think I'm overselling it a little bit, but no, I mean, if you've not seen this and you're watching this now, and hopefully we've kind of piqued your interest, then go out and get it, man. It's a great summertime watch.
Absolutely. I would say. Like I said, it's just a great
Now's
film.
the time to watch these, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It's the Slashtastic summer. Definitely. So yeah, we tend to agree on that one. Very impressive with that. Like I said, it's great stuff. Great, like I say, great characters. Like I say, Mike Kellen. I mean, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, wow. You see that, and then of course he did Sleepaway Camp a little later, and I'm like, how about that? And he has that same, character about him and stuff like that. Like in Sleepaway Camp, it's it's hilarious. He's like, oh no, it's happening again. And I'm just like,
he's almost comical in this film as well. There's no comedy in it, but his character is almost like, you'll just see his character, and he's got the type of face that you just want to laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's an all-timer. So I tell you, this release will be coming, I'm sure. So definitely keep an eye out for it. Like I say, it's on Look Movie over here in the States and stuff like that. There is a cut on YouTube, but there was like a minute cut from that, and it's in 480p. So
okay,
I know why they did that. So I kind of get that, but yeah, if you can find it, just check it out and stuff like that, and tell us what you all think. But yeah, that's Just Before Dawn. We're talking about another film next which is a slasher in my opinion. It's another slow burn that originally came out in 1981. It was shelved, and we're talking about The Final Terror. This is an early Scream Factory release, so they state this is almost like Vinegar Syndrome. They state at the start before they start the film, it's like they went through this 6 times because the negatives were so bad. There was a lot of stuff. There was some stuff that they just couldn't get. It was basically destroyed. So check out this cast. First off, directed by Andrew Davis, who did The Fugitive. With an actor in here, which would be in that film with Tommy Lee Jones. We're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, it stars, check this out, Rachel Ward as Margaret. You have Daryl Hannah as Wendy. Lewis Smith as Boone. You have Adrian Zemed as Savane, I believe it is. Great actor. He plays a dick in this film. Very good. This is very heavily Deliverance. This is very heavy Southern Comfort film to me. You have Ernest Hardin Jr. as Hines. I recognize him. Like very early role for him as well. You have Mark Metcalf as Mike. Cindy Harrell as Cindy. Akusa Dacia as Vanessa. You have John Frederick as Zorik. Yeah, John Frederick as well as Zork is great. And then it's Joe Pantoliano as Edgar. He's the one that plays the lead detective in The Fugitive with Tommy Lee Jones. I recognized him at first. This is an early role for him. He's also in the Bad Boys film. He plays the police chief. You'd recognize him as you see him.
Is he in one of the Fridays as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Probably one of the early ones. This was filmed in Crescent City, California. Like I said, man, we have beautiful forests up here. Like I say, directed by Andrew Davis. Go ahead, Darren. What's your thoughts on the film, first off?
Right, so I first saw this one, and I got the old DVD, and I couldn't fucking find it. And it was actually called Campsite Massacre in the UK. And it's like a bare bones DVD and really dark in places. So when this like Blu-ray come out, I was jumping all over it. This is one that I've got the old VHS as well. I've even got the original, but it's the poster from Turkey. And it is weird because you've got an image of like a couple sitting down making love. And it's got nothing to do with like this film. It looks like, but
they put that in there because they wanted more kills in the film. That's why it was shelved out for like a certain amount of time. In that opening scene, the lady's hair changes from long to short. It looks wetter. It looks different. You can't tell. If you don't know, you know. You know what I mean? But yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
which is a good kill. We're going to get to that, which is pretty good. I like that opening a lot, to tell you the truth.
That was added like that. The film wasn't even going to have that scene, and after everything was filmed, they went back, and I think an editor actually did.
Yeah, they put that edit in there.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of like, this one goes under the radar a little bit. I think
under the radar, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think it's one of the best examples of like a backward slasher, but
I've
seen a lot worse.
It's not. No, it's
you got stuff like Don't Go in the Woods, which is a lot worse. Memorial
the Forest,
Massacre, The Forest. Yeah, don't let CK you say that, mine. But
I like The Forest. I like Ghost Children.
I can't get into The Forest, man. I went in. I tried to watch it and got 20 minutes in, and I'm like. Nah. Dirk loves it as well. Like Dirk and CK love that one. But yeah, there's a lot of different kind of. So it was called Carnivore as well. There's a lot of different stories. So Joe Pantoliano, who plays Edgar, he got the part because when he went into audition, he literally went in his character. So he literally auditioned as like playing his character, and yeah, he was hired on the spot. And he is probably the best kind of actor
because these people, they kind of work for, I think, the Forest Service or something like that.
I
They
was going to ask you about that.
there.
Yeah, because we,
you know, and it's
like,
just it's just an idea because Edgar is like the bus driver, basically the mechanic fixing up the bus, because they're going to pick up some friends of theirs, some lady friends of theirs. Daryl Hannah's character, it's her parents where they pick them all up at as well. You see Rachel Ward in her gorgeous, sexy, beautiful self. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know who it is as soon as you see her. Props to her, a great actress, man. She's stuck with films like this. Of course, people know her from the Thornbirds. Of course, she got like awards for that part. But just watch Night School. Your opinion changes of her on that. And then, of course, the film that we discussed, like really quick, Fortress as well. But
definitely check those out. If you're a Giallo fan, you've not seen Night School, then do yourself.
And this is a good transfer from Scream Factory for what they got. You can see where it dips a little bit. I like that. It adds kind of to the charm of this film. The scenery is gorgeous in here. But they really go for that slow burn. I'll say Southern comfort aspect of that, of going through this forest later on in the film and stuff like that too, because I've not seen Deliverance. So
you've never seen Deliverance?
But I know this film takes highly upon films like that. Yeah.
Oh man, you've got to put that straight. Like, do a double feature with like Southern Comfort. I always
definitely.
I'm like treble feature with Rituals as well. But so you've got a great opening in this. You got, like you mentioned, the couple fall off it. They're going along.
Yeah, just automatically. Yeah.
Yeah. The woman goes for help, and then she gets back and she realizes
at the station, like he's out on patrol, and
But then she sees her boyfriend or husband or whatever, and he's hanging upside down from a tree.
Yeah.
And she's killed then by this homemade like fucking trap.
Yeah, it has those tin lids on those cans. You know, that you open up with can openers and stuff like that. You just hear her scream, but you see, and that's a good shot when you see like the two like that, and you're like going, oh, you know.
It is,
stuff there.
And this film, like you said, was shelved for like 2 years as well because they couldn't get a distributor for it.
They couldn't get a distributor for it. Yeah.
And I think that scene was obviously tacked on the opening as well.
Yeah, just to get people out there.
Yeah, so you got Marco, like played by Adrian Zamed. People know him from like T.J. Hooker and
I love that show. I watched that as a kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, he's grabbed from behind. Yeah. The Shatner as well.
Yeah.
But he's grabbed from behind, and we find out it's Edgar Butan, played by Joe Pantoliano, and it's like a false scare early on. But then you've got like, you know, your normal kind of everyday slasher. Then you've got a group of campers. They're ready to go on this trip in the forest, including, like you say, Margaret, Rachel Ward, Wendy Morgan, Daryl Hannah, Edgar. He warns them it's dangerous, but he drives them up in the bus.
Yeah. Eggers literally wakes them up in the morning and stuff like that. He all goes on the bunks, and these punks aren't having it whatsoever, man. These are all good actors, but they play that part. He puts a knife up to them and stuff. You get the fuck away from me. All this other stuff too. And he warns them there too. So I thought we had an understanding about the bus and stuff like that. You're not supposed to be going up there. We're going like, well, I think he says 30 miles past whatever like that. So
yeah. And he's like the big, kind of, they try to make him out as this big red herring throughout the whole film.
Oh, God,
but he comes into play big time at the end. Oh, man, what I do like about this, so you've got your normal Friday the 13th, the burning type campfire scene.
Yes.
They're literally telling scary stories.
Yeah, that's a template for these films. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the story that comes up in this one is there's this young girl who was raped. She was put in this mental hospital. By being raped, she got pregnant, had this baby boy. The baby was taken away from her. And when the boy turned 19 years of age, the ghost, or the kind of creepy tale as it goes that he went back to the mental hospital, got his mother, and took her to these woods and let her like live in the woods,
Live off the land.
And that's kind of a local legend, I guess. But we find out fucking that pretty much
That
is
isn't
about to
true.
become true. Yeah. Well, yeah.
The one guy offers to go somewhere. They're all talking and BSing and stuff like that too. Says, I'll let you know where I'm at and stuff like that. When he does like a fake cowl and stuff like that, he goes, oh.
Yeah, that's to do with like, so you got these two guys. I think it's Nathaniel. Nathaniel's one of them. And there's two guys, and they go to do this weed run, I think it is, to go and get drugs. Dennis is the other one, yeah. So they tell Michael, then they say, what you got to do is you got to howl every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they kind of wind
because he mentions that there is weed out here and stuff like that too. That's funny. They put that in the Friday 13th remake. So that's a good nod, kind of the films like this, like that.
Adrian Zemed actually said that him doing that scene where he's howling, it took 15 or 20 takes.
Twice, to do that.
Yeah.
This has great. This has very good special features. I think the co-producer, he stutters a little bit. But he talks about that and stuff like that, and they talk to the actors who they could get and stuff like that. It's very cool.
Man, I was surprised because Adrian Zemed is obviously a well-known. Oh, Pops is in the chat.
What's going on? Yeah, he's driving home and stuff like that. Hope you're doing good too, my man. I love your handle. That looks terrific. Good deal and stuff like that. See, you can make AI work for you pretty damn good. Looks great. If you don't have his channel, dude, check him out, dude. Great, humble guy. He does like everything and stuff like that. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.
He's one of the best on YouTube. Yeah, I know Pops. If you're still listening, like I know Dirk, wants to get together and kind of work out something to do because we're gonna do the Hitcher at one point.
Oh yeah,
by the end of the summer. So yeah,
the Hitcher is The Witcher is a WTF film. I'm just going to say that. There's a lot of shit in that film that makes no flipping sense. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Dirk's got a good view on that, The Hitcher, actually, because he was telling me and I didn't even look at it like that. But yeah,
I'll just say this. Is he real? I'll just say that. Is he real? Does he exist? So
yeah, that's where I think Dirk's coming from as well.
Is he actually?
So you've got in chat, like Mike and Melanie are the two in charge of this group. And it's weird because they cut down trees, and I think they're tidying up the forest. They kind of work as well as going out there for
that's what they're up there to do. Where the leader of the group, picks up his love interest, his girlfriend, and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, and there's an interesting scene with them too as well.
Yeah, so they all look at the dudes in the bus and stuff like that. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So Marco and Edgar, they've both gone missing. Mike and Melanie, then they hook up. They have sex in the woods. But he's stabbed in the back by like this camouflage killer. We don't know who's doing the killing at this point.
The blonde, she's very pretty. She keeps the I like the wet t-shirt thing. That's just me and stuff like that, Yeah.
A funny story about that scene. So the actress in that scene, literally all the real forest rangers at the time of filming got together and they found out that she was doing a nude scene in the lake. And then they all came and started watching, the director was saying.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of funny.
And you have to think about it, too. It's like you really want to be roughing it up like on the dirt and in that nice dirty water, doing your thing.
I mean, I guess when you're like young and horny, I guess anything goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good kill because it misses her. But yeah, that's a good kill because you don't. I like this because you don't see the killer coming. The killer's very tactical. I'll give it that. I'll leave it at that.
What I like, this don't spell everything out for you as well.
No.
Even though we've got that campfire tale at the start, we still don't know what's going on. Another great scene. So you've got Nathaniel and Dennis, and they find this old cabin in the middle of the woods. Like this old grave as well. So
because they say it's probably just a dog or something like that.
Yeah,
that's where they find the raft. I think it is one of those blow up like rafts or whatever, water rafts.
They do, yeah. So Dennis goes in first, and then he ends up playing a prank because he dresses with this old kind of old.
It's like a headdress. Yeah. It's like a wig. It's a gray wig and a dress, like very a la Psycho like.
They find all this weird shit in the cabin as well. They find Edgar's like hat and stereo, and there's even like
he says, "I knew he took it.
Head.
I knew he stole it.
Wolf's head in the fucking cabin.
in the closet, yeah, with the worm coming out of it and stuff like that too. Also, he picks up a mason jar that has LSD in, or mushrooms. So
right, and he
takes that
pinches
with
that,
him.
and that comes into play later on as well.
Yeah, the Zorik character, John Frederick, very good actor here. Yeah, the bald dude and stuff like that. He's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh yeah. You know, you got in that night. Then you got Margaret Rachel Ward, and she's woken by the killer as she sleeps. That's another creepy scene.
Right, the killer comes up and stuff like that. It has like this claws on it and stuff like that, and she gets terrified because nobody has come back yet. And like I said, she's up like that. It's like, he was there and stuff like that. He was here and stuff like that, freaking out too and stuff like that. Rachel Ward has a great scream. When she's good with it.
What would you say the killer's was? Because it's kind of a weird kind of shaped knife or whatever in it. It's like, what do you call them in America? It's not a scythe. Is it a scythe type thing?
It's very tactical because the knife is like right here. And it goes kind of up like that. It's very I forget what it would be called. It's kind of like a scythe. That's Japanese and stuff like that. But it's a cool idea. It's already there.
Oh shit!
The killer has like claws and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Later on, the Daryl Hannah's character like just hits her in the neck and stuff like that. So very tactical, camouflaged being. I'll just say that for the part.
It is.
That's that's when what's his name comes back to the fire and stuff like that too, and he goes, "Hey, you're back," and stuff like that because he's a lead character.
Marco,
yeah, Marco comes back.
But yeah, so Marco returns, but then you've got the scene there again, straight out of Friday the 13th. It reminds me of Friday the 13th Part 5, and maybe one of the Sleepaway Camp sequels where
Vanessa goes to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom. They asked, "It's like, want to go with you?" and stuff like that. She basically tells him to F off, and tells him to go to hell and stuff like that. She's in the bathroom, and then that's where she sees the dude's head there and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mike's head.
Yeah. And it comes down and falls like into her, and
it's not even that, dude, because they do a great shot because it's all in black, right? Then you just see the shadow of it, so you don't see the whole thing. It's a great shot, very Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah. So you've got Megan then. She's Melanie, I should say. She's still missing. They look, but they can't find her. Next morning, then they all go to this cabin to look for.
Yeah, they go back to the cabin.
But what they don't know is that Melanie's being held in the basement.
She's right there. Yeah, the killer has the hand over her throat and stuff like that. They see, it smells bad in there. They all go in there. They find a hand in the mason jar. One dude finds it in the mason jar. Let's see.
That's when they flee.
And he drops it. He drops it, and you see the ring on the finger and stuff like that. And they kind of know who it was, and you're like, oh,
It is. It's a great scene. That's when they think to themselves, "Fucking hell, let's get out of here, man." So they get the rafts that they got from earlier.
That's where they show a separate scene with her and stuff like that, and she's not saying nothing. She's scared shitless, and you don't know what's going to happen there. That's where it gets interesting.
We don't really see her die. Melanie died, do we? Because
we don't see her die. No, that's what makes it worse. That's what makes it worse. I love it when you do shit like that.
So think of the burning with the raft scene. In the burning, we got like a similar scene here, but instead of like all these kids being picked off, the body of Melanie is like kind of thrown onto this raft, and then
thrown right on the raft and stuff like that. Comes out of nowhere because they're saying, which way are we going to go and stuff like that. We'll just go by the river. It'll lead us to the whatever like that. That'll eventually get them to the bus. It's a good sequence. It's a good long sequence there, seeing them all work together and having their problems. Yeah, she drops in the boat. She's dead. So they bury her and stuff like that too. And man, that's a tough scene and stuff like that too. It's like, done yet type of situation, as Zurich says. I'm like, shit.
Like you say, they kind of travel on. Then they find the empty bus, the broken down bus. They decide to spend the night.
Yeah, Edgar's bus and stuff like that too. Yeah, they try to start it, I think, at night, and they find marijuana. They find all that stuff in there, but it's not starting and stuff like that. Let's stay here for the night. Figures out what's happened. That's when That's when the killer, with a good axe typical scene or hatchet to the window that sits there for a second, right next. I think it's right next to Rachel's character. Yeah, right next to Margaret, smack her Hannah's character.
Yeah. You've got the creepy shit then with the killer on top of the bus, and they all
just go out the other side. They go out to the other side of the bus, man, and they just bolt right into the forest, man. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah. Great scene with the killer. I think stalking the bus. So, but while they're all running away, Wendy, Daryl Hannah's character, she kind of gets separated from the group.
Yeah, they're trying to find her.
And then the killer attacks her. Then
just hits her. She doesn't see it coming.
Across the face, I think, innit?
Yeah, just across the face. It's like kind of like a push wise and stuff like that too. But it was like right on her face and neck, and she's like, "Oh God," and stuff like that. First time seeing this, I thought they were going to kill her. I almost thought, like, are they going to do it? Yeah. Are they going to do it? Yeah, they didn't do it.
But they went the group go back and find her, and then they start, they give her first aid and they start sewing up like wounds and that.
Yeah, because they're thinking at the time here that Eggers is the one doing this, because they show a scene with Eggers by like a campfire, just talking to himself like a little bit like that, because you hardly ever see him throughout this.
Yeah, we're actually at this point we're thinking, it's Eggers is the killer.
Yeah,
but we know we've watched a lot of these slasher films.
We kind of know it's a great twist for this.
I think so. So. I love the we're going towards the end, and I love the one scene because I always like a big storm in a slasher film, and they do that.
Oh God, me too.
You've got the big storm later on. They all camouflage themselves, and that's another thing. While they were filming this,
there is a certain scene where towards the end and stuff like that, it doesn't look like it's raining. Then it shows a pan of most of them on that cliffside thing, and you see rain just barely and stuff like that too. And it's like you saw when Screen Factory was working on that camera negative, a little bit like that, because I think in like a regular like 480p cut, you wouldn't be able to see that.
Right, absolutely. And they had problems filming this with the rain. They said it rained pretty much every day they were trying to do this, and you can tell, and I think it adds to the
kind of adds to the effect to it. Me too, really like the mud and all this stuff too.
Yeah.
They find a spot where they're going to set them up. I'll let you get to that, Darren. Go ahead.
No, you can. I don't want you going, man. If you want.
It's like I said, kind of my fanboyishness coming in here and stuff like that, where they find this place and stuff like that. Zurich has a big smile on his face because it's like this broken down tree, literally, and there's a hole at the bottom of that tree, like it's like a redwood, basically. Like these are ancient and just tipped over, and it's like this ground stuff or whatever like that on this clips and stuff like that, and you just all jump in there. Speaking of which, we got the Rad King just showing up in here real quick. What's going on there, Garrett? It's great to see you, my friend.
Yeah,
you too, my friend. Have a good night. Keep on fighting the good fight. Make DVDs rad again, definitely. And he just smiles and he like looks around and he goes, "It's here. This is where we're gonna get him. This is where we're gonna get him." Like they're all on top and stuff like that. And he goes, "He's been on some magic mushrooms. He's been taking that stuff like that and stuff like that." And they just said, "Okay, let's just set up. Let's leave him alone and stuff like that too." Then he starts climbing one of the trees.
Right.
He starts climbing one of the trees. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So it's like, oh, what's going on, Norn? It's great to see you, Norn Rad 89. Check out his channel. Good channel on here, dude. He does reviews. He did a retrospective on the Friday 13th franchise, which is very good. He's keeping an eye on the Jason universe as well, doing a better job than I am, definitely. So very good to see you there, Norn. Thank you very much for dropping in and saying hi. I really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody being here. I really do. We do this for fun, and hey, hell, slashers, everyone comes together for these films, definitely.
Hey, but what's up, man? What's up?
But it's just like you see, but that's when you see the rain behind them and stuff like that for a bit. So they all just setting up and stuff like that, because there's a field right in front of them. Like literally a field of this tall grass, and you're like, "Oh, this is a great tactical kind of place to set up this thing." And that's when Egger shows up out of nowhere, because the main character, what's his name again there, Darren? Say one more time.
Marco.
Yeah, Marco. He's basically walking and stuff like that, and Eggers comes up right behind him, with this and stuff like that. He says, "I told you to leave. I told you to leave. I told you to leave." And that's when they have this big fight and all this stuff too. They come down, everyone comes up in their camouflage and start beating the dog piss out of them. That's where we get that reveal there, Darren. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So that scene with Marco, I just want to touch upon that. Agent Ahmed said that he was having difficulty when he was getting strangled of trying to portray himself as being in kind of physical danger. So what he did was he got the stunt woman to actually put more pressure. So she's putting the rope tight around his neck to get the reaction.
That's right. It was a rope. Nice.
Yeah,
Very
which
nice.
is kind of interesting.
Oh, that's almost like Tom
so,
Savini doing Pamela Voorhees, because those are his hands doing all that stuff too. That's what it reminds me of. I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But you've got, they set up this big elaborate trap to catch the killer. The group then, like you say, once Edgar comes back into it, they start, they attack Edgar thinking he's the killer. And I think Dennis, one of the characters, he's just watching on. But then we see the killer literally climb out of the root
from the bottom root of the tree. Now there's a scene where the killer is, where they're rafting is up by the rocks and stuff like that, because the killer has this big like this fur thing, camouflage to look like one of the rocks. And I knew I've seen this film before. I'm like going, and there it is right there. You see it just come up like that. And I thought it was like very good.
So you've got a similar looking killer to Don't Go in the Woods.
Yeah,
that's if you think of that, you get kind of a similar kind of look. But yeah, so I mean, we spoiled it, so we might as well spoil it.
It's a great thing where the killer comes out right for Zorik, like just comes right out of that root of the tree and very slowly comes up there. Yeah, they're basically hooks. That are on this person, just takes it, whack, and that's a great scene where he's all twisted up bit like that, and he's gone. I originally clapped when I saw that. I'm like, good.
So the big twist in this, right, which is fucking amazing, I think, the killer is actually the fucking woman from the
is Egger's mother. Yeah,
is Egger's mother.
And, which is actually being played by a man. That's actually being played by a male.
It is confusing, I know.
Well, because he looks up and he says that, he's like, Mom, just before he dies and stuff like that too. Yeah, she goes down that tree towards him and stuff like that. And this is straight from Predator. They had to have gotten that idea from that film where you see her trip the tripwire and you see that big spike thing of log go right down, and that's a great scene from the camera. Down there, hits her, bang, and she's swinging, and you see that camera like right there. They had to have been right on there with them, and just goes up and then down, and I was like, oh, that is so good, great ending sequence.
You got that final shot then of the killer hanging upside down, and then you kind of I mean, that's what I remember. I hadn't seen this film for a long time, but I always remember that ending, right?
Yeah, it's very good. You just see it pan out and stuff like that. And I like it when films kind of do that, because it makes you think about, okay, what's going to happen after that, so you can come with your own conclusions. It's
kind of the same. It ends then, doesn't it? That literally.
Yeah, it's because the ones, just who's left alive and stuff like that. And it's just a sigh of like going, holy shit, we're never going to be the same. Everything is basically changed and stuff like that too. And then you just see these people all spread out and stuff like that are dead. You see Eggers just like up there for a second, then he just puts his head down because you don't come back from that. So
I think this film is a lot better than what people give it credit for.
Man,
I think personally, it's not top tier slasher at all for me, but it kind of sits in the middle. And you could do a lot worse than the Final Terror, man. In terms of backward slashers. I'm thinking of one now called, have you seen one called Midnight from 82?
It sounds very familiar. But
that's one that we might want to check out at some point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we have plans for doing certain slashers on this channel too. So expect that in the future. I'll go ahead and give you my ranking for this one. This was originally a 7 out of 10. This gets a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I like this a little bit more than Just Before Dawn. Just a little bit more. There's something about it. I really like Rachel Ward in this. I really like all these. These are great actors and actresses in here. It just plays very good to me. I like the atmosphere. I like the grittiness of it. There's horror to this, right? The special features, talking to the producer, on here said we wanted to make it more like that, more dramatic. You know what I mean? More like this doesn't get a happy ending. You know what I mean? Don't give me happy endings with this shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get a happy ending, so I like it a lot. It's a solid 8 out of 10. I'll go 8.5 out of 10.
Like for me, it's a 6 out of 10. But that don't mean I don't like it. Right?
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. Everything's subjective with that. Yeah.
It's good to see someone like you put this above. Just before dawn.
It's a second time. It's a second time watch for me. I love both these films pretty much equally, but yeah, The Final Terror seems to be the one after watching this a second time seems to be a little bit more rewatchable wise. I highly thank Brian from Brian Goes Blue for just doing that stream with Pops and just mentioning that film. I think it's a gem. I think both these films are gems, but this one was a hidden gem. Yeah. Like I said, I understand why it wasn't released in 81. I don't think it would, like I say, that's why these studios are like going, well, we have Friday the 13th, we have The Burning, we have Madman, we have these films and Maniac, stuff like that too. And like you say, stuff like, you can say like, other films, like with this kind of aspect came out. And, unfortunately, but at least we got it in 83 and, handed to Scream Factory for releasing this. I wouldn't mind a 4K if they still have it. I would be interested to see if you can do a 2K transfer at least, or a 4K transfer. I doubt it, but this is a good release anyway. It's still available too, I believe so.
This was called, the working title for this one was called Bump in the Night.
Yeah.
And I have heard of another title. So when they're all going up in the bus.
It's called Creeper too, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but do you know when they're all going up in the bus and they're singing Three Blind Mice?
Oh yeah,
that's what this film was going to be called as well at one point. Three Blind Mice.
This is a great score too. They talked to the one of the women that were part of the scores to this film and stuff like that too. It's a very good score. I like it a lot. It just sets the mood for the whole film. But yeah, definitely like it a lot.
So the original screenplay to this consisted of a sparse plot about rich boys and rich girls going up, like that's what it was going to be originally. Just this set of rich boys, rich girls going off into the woods and getting killed one by one. The screenplay was co-written by Ronald Shusett, who had previously co-written Alien from 70.
Yeah.
With Dan O'Bannon. So, I mean, you're talking fucking...
Yeah, you're talking very good stuff there. Yeah, definitely.
Australian actress Rachel Ward was cast in the lead role of Margaret after Davis had seen her modeling portrait in his office. So before she was well known.
My goodness.
She started off as a model, absolutely stunning actress.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of Rachel Ward, I mean more, then watch Night School
watch Night School. There's a great shower scene in that with blood being used.
Nude.
Yeah. Being painted in red in the shower. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly. So one of the actresses I want to mention as well, Akusha Busha auditioned during the open casting call on Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, she plays Vanessa. She was a daughter of the Ghana's prime minister at the time. But she was actually a childhood friend of Rachel Ward. And the two of them became acquainted with each other where they were studying in London at the time, back in the early 80s. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting,
Yeah, Ernest Hardin Jr. as well. He's very young as Hein in this. He's very young, but I've noticed...
Yeah, there was no real names until later on. A lot of these people just got famous after the fact of this film.
Basically, like I said, of course, we all know about Daryl Hannah with Kill Bill, Blade Runner as well. She was also in Splash, if y'all don't know. Adrian Zemed, of course, Bachelor Party. If you haven't seen Bachelor Party, I highly suggest you check that out. They don't make things like that anymore. They don't make them like that anymore.
One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen with the transsexual. I mean, you couldn't do that now, Bachelor Party, but yeah.
So definitely, like I say, Andrew Davis, like I said, he did The Fugitive. He did Under Siege as well. Fugitive is a very good film if you have not seen that.
There is so right when they were filming this, a lot of the local, I think, forest rangers got together and they give the cast these homemade cookies. But what they didn't realize, they were laced with marijuana, and half of the cast had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, had to go to the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy, man.
Well, yeah, if you don't know and you're just chowing those cookies down, saying that they're good and stuff like that too. Edibles aren't something to mess around with, like overconsumption wise. They can get you sick pretty quickly.
Absolutely. But no, this is solid. If it, like, I'm glad, I'm really glad Chris liked this as much as he did. To be honest, this
Like
one
I
is
said, I love
solid.
just both these films. Like I say, Just Before Dawn, of course, by Jeff Lieberman, 1981, highly rewatchable. We gave that one a solid 8 out of 10. The Final Terror, Darren gave it a 6 out of 10, which is a damn good score for this film, considering
I mean, I could go
what you have to
6.5.
work with. What you have to work with, of course.
Yeah.
It just hit with me the second time watch for some reason. It just did. Probably knowing what I know now about these actors and stuff like that in the genre, specifically about Rachel Ward, and just like I'm like, wow. I mean, she has a great career. A lot of these young men and ladies at the time turned out to have great careers and stuff like that, and good for them. And it's just good to see gems of films like this at this time. You know, a lot of them don't like to talk about them. Of course they don't, but they're still part of cinema history, and you got to love that about slashers.
I think you would like something like Unhinged from 1982.
Definitely. I do have that on a saved list on a platform, so
I can put you onto some film. Like, now I know like your tastes a lot now as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many times did you see Just Before Dawn?
I saw Just Before Dawn a few months ago. I did it for Slasher Saturday. Like I said, it was just like I remember watching like a little bit of it, and then the whole thing with Demon Dave started and all that stuff too. And I'm like going, okay, let me watch the rest of the film and stuff like that. I'm like, hell yeah, find another, release it, dude. Just do it. You know, just find some place to find some studio. Hopefully it's Synapse that does it. Vinegar Syndrome would be good with this. It wasn't Vinegar Syndrome that released it. Like I said, I think it was a Code Red release and stuff like that as well. But
I'd want like an Arrow or a Second Sight release, I think. But
Arrow would be a trip.
Arrow would be a bit too much. Arrow could do it. I mean,
Second Sight, I couldn't see them doing that. That'd be interesting though. But who knows? We've gotten great stuff from these companies this year, definitely. I just want to give a quick shout out again. It's a special person's birthday, of course. That is, of course, happy birthday to the great Mario Bava. Like I said, great doing these slashers on his birthday. Definitely a quick rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne, of course, and Hulk Hogan. Darren, just talk about Ozzy a little bit.
Oh man, so yeah, we do start with Ozzy. I grew up literally 1981, I think it was the first time I heard him. I was a big AC/DC fan. That kind of got me into metal.
Yeah,
I was that guy in school with the long hair from fucking Trick or Treat. Like no one liked metal in my school, and I was the only one, like Metallica and all that. But Ozzy, no, I mean, all the tributes. I've been watching a lot of his tributes since the last week. The guy was just so fucking funny. There was never a bad word for anyone.
He was quite hilarious. Yeah,
he was one of the funniest people.
Controversial, but just wanted. He was just happy. You know, he wanted to be happy. It's like going, you know, Metallica would talk about him and stuff like that. Those are legendary stories. There's a story Metallica dared him. Molly Crew dared him to sniff ants, and he did it.
He did it.
There's a docu-film on Netflix that talks about that. That's based off the book Nikki Sixx did. But you know,
oh yeah, that's a great film. I've seen that actually.
Of course, you have Sabotage and stuff like that. The worst cover ever for an album, a lot of people say, but it's like a terrific album where Tony Iommi had to borrow Ozzy's underwear for the picture or something like that. There's like some trippy stuff going on in there. But yeah, great dude, a god in metal. He'll be missed. Of course, in video games, he did that one video game with Jack Black and stuff like that, where he helps him make the motorcycle. It's very good. Of course, he was the Warlock character in World of Warcraft. I remember the commercial. He'd be like, "Hi, I'm Ozzy. I'm the effing Prince of Darkness," and it's like I play a Warlock. You know what it is. And yeah, great dude in pop culture.
There's not many people that I genuinely would like almost feel like crying. And he's one of them. I've been watching his funeral, funny enough. The last 2 days, they had 2 different funerals. So yesterday they had like a like public kind of funeral where all the people come out in the streets and all that. And I think today they had like the family funeral. Yeah. Man, it's hard to talk about Ozzy without getting upset. Definitely. I mean, I just I look up to him and just yeah, like you say, and
metal
we've
and
got
the horror community. Lost a great person, like you say, Trick or Treat and all that other stuff too. And he did other stuff as well. He was in Little Nicky, I think, as well. Of course, he was in the Jerky Boys that
I defy
Dirk and
anyone.
Tex watched yesterday.
Like,
So,
yeah, I defy anyone to like bring up footage of Ozzy where Ozzy is slagging people off, or vice versa. Mine, I've not seen anyone who's literally ever slagged Ozzy off in the past. You know, just a diamond, man. I mean, he's up there now with Randy Rhoads. I think I said on John's.
Yeah, Randy Rhoads, and like I say, a lot of them. And
imagine Lemmy on the bass.
Yeah, Lemmy.
Randy
Lemmy. Yeah,
on guitar and Ozzy singing. Yeah, and I'm sure there's frigging some.
Yeah, terrific.
Drummer from The Who as well, Keith Moon.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow,
just like you say, great stuff. Rodney James Dio up there, they're probably like going, I know I was the better singer for you all and stuff like that too.
I got to see Dio, but I never got to see Ozzy. And of course you've got Cliff Burton as well. He's up there too.
Yes, God may rest in peace. Yeah. So very good. So yeah, this was a great stream, Slasher Stream 11. Sorry it took so long, everybody, but quality over quantity, definitely. Darren, my friend, I put the links in the info bar, what you're doing stuff with. Go ahead and talk about what you have coming up next with Dirk on Subjective Perspective Collective.
Yeah, sure. So Sunday we've got a kind of, me and Dirk's been talking about this one forever. Again, the right time, it's the summertime. So we're doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74. And what we're going to try and do, and I know a lot of people have talked about this film to death, and there's all the usual, you can hear all the quotes about the lack of, they think there's a lot more gore in the film and all that. Me and Dirk's going to try and put a little, like, our different spin on it and try and find out some facts that are not so well known. So, yeah, I mean, that's Sunday. That's 1 a.m. UK time. I think probably, was it 8 p.m. your time, is it, Chris? Or
around that time. Hey, that works out all good. That works
and there
out
you
all
go,
good.
Subjective Perspective Collective there.
Yep, right there. I put all the channels in the info bar. You can check out Darren and Dirk, like I say, and all those channels down there. Like I say, Subjective Perspective Collective, visited by Voices. Lauren and those dudes and dudettes do a great job over there. Of course, Dead Pit as well. They're all part of that great community there, keeping horror alive and well and stuff like that, and making sure certain studios know what to do better and stuff like that. Definitely, they need to make a T-shirt. They need to make a T-shirt of what CK put up there on Instagram. That's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, also, another channel I put down there as well, Hysteria Lives. I'm going to prep this channel a lot. Yeah. Click on that channel if you want to know about slashers and the slashers that were not made, but have similar stuff and like that. Check out that dude. It's a great channel
as well. These great
people.
Yeah. Grande's Graveyard, Dan's Flesh Wound features. There's, I could go on. I hate doing that because I always end up missing someone out. But you've got JT as well in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. JT Horse Discussions. Yeah, absolutely.
A ton of these guys. Yeah, check them all out. I mean, the people in the sidebar, yeah, Born to Be Bad,
yeah. All of these great YouTubers just having fun doing what we do, and it's a great stuff. Tomorrow I'm doing the Calm the Hell Down or Calm the F Down, as Brian said it. I'm going to show up what I picked up in the last few weeks, you can say, and stuff like that. And then the big boy that I can see from over there. But I'm going to keep that a secret. You all know what it is and stuff like that. Then I'm going to go through what I watched in June as part of that stream and stuff like that. Now I'll cap off the trilogy that I've done this week. So good stuff ahead. Nice. I have stuff I'm planning with Darren over here as well. So expect great stuff from the Slasher Bros here on Black Glove Reviews. I'm Chris C. of Black Glove Reviews. That is Darren from Subjective Perspective Collective. Everybody, especially you beautiful ladies out there, don't go out in the neon nights, please, because the black gloved one is out there. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great evening or morning wherever y'all at. Rest in peace, Ozzy and Hulk Hogan. Take care.